think we're live. I think it's recording. Yes! Connection available. We're live. Hey everybody. Okay, we are live and I'll probably see as people come in. Feel free to comment all you want as you come into the live today. If you see me reach forward to steady a tripod, it's because I'm out with the critters. And I don't know, can you see the chickens behind me? I don't know. Yeah, I've got it pointed kind of the wrong way. I put the food for the chickens that way, and it's hard for you to see them. You can't see the chickens. You probably want to see the chickens. Oh, and I have Facebook here, and I have YouTube here. So that's why you'll see me sometimes looking this way, you'll see me sometimes looking this way. But you probably need, now can you guys see? Oh, you guys, YouTube can see the chickens. Yeah, YouTube can see the chickens. Facebook, you can't see the chickens. Oh, we need to change that. Chickens are super fun to watch. Can you see the chickens? Yeah, you can see them. There they are. They're just super relaxing and super fun to watch. Super, I guess, is going to be the key word of today. Super. I don't know. So in there, you also see a black and white cat maybe in there. Can you see? That's Hilo. Sometimes the cats get in there and they like to eat the scraps of food that I put in there. Because what we have for our chickens and our pigs, oh, we have somebody watching. It doesn't tell me who. Comment, and then I can tell who's, oh, Jody. Jody's watching. Hi, Jody. Anyways, we have inside what's called a chicken bowl. Jody, just so you know, I've got YouTube here and Facebook here. So that's why I'm looking sometimes different ways. But we have, and I'm sorry, I've got a cough drop in. My throat has been itchy this morning, and so a Ricola sometimes helps. But we have a chicken bowl in the house, and really what it is just a big steel pot, stainless steel pot with a lid, and any scraps we just scrape into there. No chocolate, no avocados, no onions, but any other scraps we just scrape into there, and then daily we bring it out either for the chickens. When the net moves, I have to kind of watch. Hold on. When the net moves, I have to watch because that means a critter is probably caught in there. And especially at feeding time, when I bring out like the scraps for the chickens, I have to really watch because sometimes the cats will try to go right through the netting. And most of the time they can just pull back out and get unstuck. But sometimes if there's another cat right there, or if they're just not thinking straight that day, they get a little stuck. And so I have to help them get out of the netting. And so they get in there to get the scraps that the chickens have. And sometimes they get stuck. And so when I do feed the scraps with this new netting that we have, this new poultry netting that we put up, I do hang out here and just watch to make sure the cats don't get stuck. Make sure, here's the other thing, the dogs don't try to get in. We've got Fuzzy Bear, Nala sometimes. Nala is our long-haired German Shepherd. And sometimes Nala's out during the day just free and loose. But she's 10 years old now, so she prefers to be inside quite a bit. But Fuzzy Bear, our 9-year-old Great Pyrenees, who is our livestock guardian dog for like the whole farm, she gets, free run of the entire acreage. In fact, she might come over and say hi. She's right there. When I feed the scraps to the chickens, Fuzzy likes to get in there and try to get the scraps. She's a dog. Fuzzy, you want to come over here and say hi? And so I have to watch because she will claw through the sides of the netting where it butts up against the hen house. Fuzzy, you want to come over here and say hi? She'll scratch through and make a hole in there to get in to get the scraps. Hi, Fuzzy. Here's Fuzzy Bear. And so you can tell she's over here just kind of watching. And so I have to stay out here while they've got their scraps out like that and make sure she doesn't rip a hole in the poultry netting. As soon as they eat all the scraps, then she doesn't care anymore, and she won't try to rip a hole. Oh, she put her paw on me. She's like, pet me more. But if I don't hang out here, that's kind of the issue. And that's why we can get away with this poultry netting. It's 2-inch square poultry netting, and it's very thin. It stops the chickens from coming out, and I've got it, it's sloped down a little bit right here, a little lower than, it's 6 foot right here, but most of the places it's about 12 to 15 feet tall. Oh, sorry, Fuzz. And so we can we can get away with kind of this flimsy poultry netting because we have Fuzzy Bear who keeps the raccoons, because Fuzzy Bear is out 24/7. excuse me, 24/7. She keeps the raccoons, the possums, the fox and stuff like that, the coyotes away from the poultry netting because they'd be able to just get right through it. And there's nothing, there's just a little bit of the weight of the poultry netting itself because the poultry netting itself is 20 feet tall. And so we have a couple feet of netting just to kind of weight down the bottom. So we don't have any other weight on the bottom. So, but when the chickens push the netting, they can't get out and they just stop. They don't really test it hardly at all anymore. It's been up for about a week. And, 2 weeks maybe. And no, it's been up a little bit longer than that. I don't know. I don't remember when I put it up, but this enclosure right now is, that rooster's making noises, 300 feet around, and then it also uses a bunch of the garage, which the back part of the garage is the hen house. And so their enclosure here is really big, and we've got another about 600 feet of netting that we're going to put up and enlarge it even more. Either have 2 flocks of chickens or just make one huge area for all the chickens. We've got one rooster that doesn't get along with the other ones, and so, but he's an older rooster, so I don't know whether to make a whole separate area for him and his girls, or whether just to wait out until he dies. I don't know. I'm back and forth, but it is gorgeous out today, so that's why I'm outside today, because the sun is out. I want some vitamin D, even though it's cold. I've got my hat on and my warm chore jacket on, but yeah, even though it's oh, there's 3 people. Let me know. Yeah, there's 3 more people watching now. And so comment. If you have any questions while I'm chatting or whatever, just feel free to comment. Tell me how your day is going, so on and so forth. But yeah, so with this area, if I want to go in there with the chickens, I just lift up the netting and go under. It's super easy. I am going to install 2 doorways, one against the garage over there and one against the garage on the other side. I'll install 2 like man doors so I can just walk in. Ooh, that rooster got onto the other rooster. But anytime I want to right now the doors aren't installed yet, I can just lift up the netting and go under. If a chicken happens to get out, like if Fuzzy puts a hole in the fencing and I don't notice it and a couple chickens get out, I just feed them table scraps or something like that, and then the outside chickens flock to the netting. I just lift up the netting and they run right in to get the table scraps. So it works so nice. This kind of netting would not work well on a farm that doesn't have the Great Pyrenees or the livestock guardian dog or something to protect the outside of the netting. It's a very flimsy netting. Predators can get through it in a heartbeat, instant. But we've got Fuzzy that really does protect this perimeter, and oftentimes she sleeps. There's a little thing of leaves right here that I can tell has got the indent, Fuzzy-sized indent of where she probably spent last night. So if the night is decent, she sleeps right out here. And all the chickens go into the hen house to roost at night, and so we do close up the hen house. And so at night, even if something did get into this area, let's say there's a storm, we bring Fuzzy in when there's a storm because she doesn't like storms. So let's say there's a storm and Fuzzy's not out here and something gets into this outside area at night, the chickens aren't in this big area. They're actually in a locked up hen house that is completely secure. So nothing can get into them there at night. And most of the time, night is when chicken predators come. But during the day, the added, benefits of me being out here quite a bit. I do come out several times a day to check on all the animals and just everybody. And then I do come out and feed every other day. The chickens get our table scraps, and then the days that they don't get it, the pigs get it. And so, but if I have 2 bowls of table scraps in one day, let's say I clean out the fridge or something like that, then I'll give one pot to the chickens and 1 pot to the pigs. But if it's just 1 pot a day, which usually it is, or a half a pot, they go every other. The chickens will get it one day and the pigs will get it another day. So they both equal opportunity lovers of the scraps. And right now I do have Sir Francis Bacon is out here somewhere, Mr. Piggy. I let him out for a bit because he was just, wanting some extra loving. And so I think he found some graham crackers or something. I had some folks out the other day to cuddle the animals and the goats and stuff, and they were feeding the goats some graham crackers. And I think they left some graham crackers here and there, and I think he found the stash that they left around. I saw him rooting through something, and it was where the kids were, and so I'm guessing they dropped some graham crackers or something. So he might not come over and visit us because he might be busy finding crumbs of graham crackers. But yeah, there are in here we have, we've got about 60 or 70 chickens in this area. You can't see them. There's some way up over there, some over there. The area is actually quite big that they are able to free range in here. And people often ask, why are free range eggs better? In the store, if they say free range or where they're not boxed in, what you're looking for in the store if you buy eggs from the store is pasture raised. Because free range in and of itself just means they're not in a cage, but usually they're just in a big warehouse and they're fed the same food that the caged chickens are fed. And your eggs really are dependent on what the chicken eats. That's how healthy or unhealthy your eggs are going to be. So if your chicken gets a great diet of bugs and they scratch through the dirt and they get worms and they get leaves and they get grasses and they really herbivores where they eat a ton of stuff, that's going to be a healthier egg. We supplement with chicken feed a little bit in the winter, not right now because they're able to find so much stuff. I've got pieces of wood and things like that and pallets that I flip over and logs and things like that I'll leave and then I'll flip over every couple days, and earthworms and things like that will gather underneath there, and so the chickens scratch that and eat all of that. And so right now, while the weather is not freezing, which is crazy for almost mid-January in Indiana, but the weather's not freezing, and so we're still not supplementing at all chicken feed for them. They are healthy chickens, getting plenty with our table scraps and the things that they're finding here in this big area. When we get below freezing temps, then we do supplement with chicken feed, and then we continue with our table scraps. But the food that the chickens eat, if they are not pasture raised, pasture means that they're in the big, huge grassy areas and they're able to get the grasses and the bugs and stuff like that. Those eggs are going to be healthier. But if they're just cage free, that's the word I was looking for, not free range, cage free. Your cage free eggs, the chickens are usually just kept in big warehouses with no grasses, no bugs, nothing like that. And they just get the same feed pretty much that the caged, I think almost exact same feed, just depends on the company, that the caged birds get. The only difference is they might be a little bit happier because they're not in cages, but that doesn't mean you necessarily get a healthier egg. I don't know. I'm going to have to look up the studies on if happy chickens make healthier eggs. I know they lay more when they're not stressed, and so, but cage-free does not equal unstressed. Cage-free, if they're in a big, warehouse and they're all kind of just crammed in there, they're still stressed because then they're pecking at each other. At least in a cage, they can't really peck at each other and go after each other. I'm not promoting caged chickens, don't get me wrong. This is what I'm promoting. Either completely free range or somehow protected free range. Now, people also ask, why do we enclose our chickens? Here's why. I'm sick of my chickens pooping in my garage, on my porch, getting into feed here and there, getting into the pig's feed, getting into the goat's feed, getting the dog food. Every time I feed another animal, if I let my chickens free range completely over the entire property, they're there to eat that animal's food. And they are just crazy about it. And so we have German Shepherds who will step away from their food and let a chicken eat it all. I was like, I thought German Shepherds were supposed to be forceful and take charge. Ours are like, chicken, you can have it, because I know you're aggressive. Our chickens are more aggressive than our German Shepherds. But yeah, and so that's why, the big reasons why we cage these guys up. And we did have a rogue fox around. Oh, there's Mr. Francis Bacon. Hey, Francis, do you want to come over here, baby? Big. We did have a rogue fox that for some reason Fuzzy couldn't catch. And I did see that fox carry off some of our chickens. And so we don't have problems with hawks here because you can see all these trees and stuff, and the chickens stay underneath the trees, and we just really don't have a lot of problems with hawks, chicken hawks and things like that, taking our chickens. I've never seen one take our chickens. I've never seen one go through the woods. And the roosters are super good about if they see a chicken or a chicken hawk, they will, or any kind of hawk or bird of prey, they will give the alert and the hens all run for cover, whether it be under bushes or trees or back into the hen house or whatever. But yeah, this big area has no top to it, so if we did have hawk problem, or hawks period, none of these chickens would be here because the hawk would be able to swoop. It'd be easy pickings. They'd be able to swoop down and get them. And so, yeah. And if something got into our chicken area here, I have absolute faith that Fuzzy Bear would rip through that netting to get in and get it. So if something did happen to get in there on her watch during the day when the chickens were out, I know Fuzzy would be able, because I've seen her rip through the netting. So that's what's funny too, is I'm just like, okay, I put that netting up to keep predators out and to keep it better for, and Fuzzy's the only one that has ripped through the netting. Fuzzy Bear's ripped through it to get the table scraps. It was so frustrating. Day after day after day, all the chickens would be out. And I'd be like, how did they get out? And I'd look, and here, it was a Fuzzy-sized hole in the netting right up against, she kept doing the same spot, right up against the hen house where the netting met the hen house. And she'd rip through it there. And so I'm just like, you're a crazy dog. Absolute crazy dog. So does anybody have any questions today? I like doing these lives because I like getting to know everybody. Does anybody who is watching, do they have a homestead of their own, or do they have animals, chickens, of their own? I wonder. I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to try every couple days going live at about, I don't know what time is good. I'll try different times and see. I like being outside, so nighttime's probably not going to be the best option because I like being outside for the lives. Early morning, I don't know. That could be an option, I guess, when it gets lighter earlier. We could start doing that. I don't know. Maybe people would watch on their way into work or something like that. I thought 11:30 might be a good time because maybe people were on their lunch break from work or something. Or maybe it's a nap time. Maybe you fed your kids and they laid down for a nap and then you can sit and watch a live or something. So yeah, I don't know. I just keep thinking 11:30 might be a good time. Who knows? But I don't know. What videos do I have coming up? We've got, the one I'm most excited about is a blackberry cobbler off. I've got 2 blackberry cobbler recipes, and they're both quite different. One calls for like a pie crust in a cast iron skillet, and the other is your typical, I think 9x13, just flour cobbler crust kind of thing. So I'm curious to see which one I like better. Very, very curious. I'm getting the blackberries tonight. I wish it was blackberry season right now. We grow blackberries, but I've already used all the ones that I froze over. And the other one uses fresh blackberries, and the other one uses frozen. So that's the other thing, too, I'm curious about. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm going to be making the blackberry cobbler video. Probably won't be released tomorrow. It'll probably be released Friday or maybe over the weekend. It depends on how long it takes me to edit it. With cooking videos, I need to edit because there's a lot of kind of downtime where we're waiting for something to cook or brown or something like that. And really, the magic of television is nice. Hi, Lisa! The magic of television is nice editing is nice where you don't have to sit there for 30 minutes and just watch something in the oven. But yeah, the blackberry cobbler video is going to be a fun one. I'm doing one about septic systems, just the do's and don'ts of having a septic system. We love our septic system. There's some common myths and there's some common things that people do wrong a lot, and it makes your septic system unhealthy and makes it where you have to have a lot of problems and have to empty it a lot more. We haven't emptied our septic in 10 years. And I'll go into that in the video about how if you keep a healthy septic system, you really technically never have to empty it. And just that ecosystem, how that ecosystem works. But Lisa, Jenna, do the hens always lay eggs in the hen house, or do you have to look outside too? Ooh, that's a really good question, Lisa. Okay, so if they are free ranging, like when they used to just completely free range the whole property, for the most part, they would lay in the hen house. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 nest boxes in the hen house, but of those 12, only about 5 or 6 of them are used. They have their favorite nest boxes, and you will see chickens waiting in line to use those nest boxes. Or you'll see 2 chickens crammed into a nest box laying together because they have their favorite nest boxes. If a chicken is impatient and it doesn't want to wait for its favorite nest box, sometimes it will find another spot to lay. Usually it's in the garage or in the barn. They'll find like an empty little cat kennel or a box or a tote or something like that, and they'll start laying their eggs there. And so when I notice, and I know about how many eggs I get every day, and so if I notice that I'm starting to get a few less, or even 1 or 2 less, I'll start looking for a nest, and I'll kind of look around for a nest. And usually the dogs will tell me right where the nests are too, if they're laying anywhere other than the nest boxes. The dogs absolutely love raw eggs, and so if the chickens lay outside of their nest boxes, the dogs will find them, and I'll find a dog walking around with an egg in its mouth, or I'll find a dog eating an egg, and then I know to look for where that nest is. And so, or I won't notice for a while, and they'll get a whole clutch of eggs there, and then all of a sudden I'm missing a hen. And if I'm missing a hen, I definitely look for a nest because they're laying on the nest and they're trying to hatch out their eggs, which we have roosters, so it's completely viable that they can hatch out eggs. And then usually what I'll do is I'll just make that little area secure and I'll let them hatch out those eggs. But for the most part, oh, Francis, come on over and say hi. Francis the pig is out. Just out. He wanted to be, what is he doing? He's got a box and he's got his nose in it and he's pushing it around. I let him out to say hi today. But yeah, for the most part, Lisa, they lay in their nest boxes. And what we do to help promote them to start laying, because we've got young hens that get raised up in the spring, is we put the little either plastic or ceramic eggs in there, and that kind of promotes them to, or not, encourages, that's the word I'm looking for, that kind of encourages them to lay in the nest boxes. And it helps where if we have a chicken problem where they start pecking at their eggs, if they get bored or they find out that eggs are yummy, they'll start pecking and eating their own eggs. We put those ceramic and plastic eggs in there for that too, so that if they peck at it, they get nothing from it, and then it almost always breaks the habit. In fact, it has always broke the habit of our hens eating eggs. And so, yeah, for the most part, I would say 95% of our chickens lay in the nest boxes. But you also want to keep them clean. We clean out our nest boxes every week. We use hay. The reason I don't use straw is because a lot of times little bugs and stuff can hide in the shafts of the straw. And so I have found that it's not great. I prefer hay. And so I use hay in our nest boxes, and I sprinkle a little diatomaceous earth on it, which helps with any kind of parasite or lice if the chickens have any bugs or anything on them, which we've never had any on our chickens because they're able to dust bathe. But if they did, it kills any little bugs in the nest boxes. Or if an egg cracks or something like that and bugs get in there to feed off the egg, then, because sometimes we've got some heavy hens, and if they squish an egg or something, or if they're hopping into the nest box and there's eggs in there and they accidentally step on one or something, it'll crack and bugs will get attracted to that. And if we have that diatomaceous earth, or DE, if we have, it's like a powder. Hey, Francis, hold on, Francis is getting into the chicken. Anyways, what was I saying? I put the DE in the nest boxes, and then sometimes I also put herbs in there, some different dried herbs that ward off mice. Peppermint's a good one. Dried peppermint I'll put in that wards off mice, and so that kind of keeps any kind of mice and rats away from the eggs. We really don't have the problem with mice and rats, and I don't know if it's because we have an awesome cat squad that eats them all, or if it's because I use some of these things in the nest boxes. But I've never seen mice, I've never seen rats. Hi, Francis. Oh, he found the chicken bowl. I brought the chicken bowl out. He found that, so he's eating the chicken out of the chicken bowl. Hi, Francis. You want to say hi? You can't see him right now. But hold on. You want to say hi to... Well, I've got the tripod just right. But yeah, so for the most part, you want to itch on that log, buddy? For the most part, they lay really well in the nest boxes. Yeah. Just don't rub on the tripod. Yes, hello, Francis. He is so sweet. Oh, and here's Mountain Man. Mountain Man says, hi. All the animals. No, Francis, no. Any other questions? That was a really good question, Lisa. Lisa, do you have chickens? I think back when Tom was alive, didn't you guys have chickens? I know you had dogs and stuff, but I don't know. Did you have chickens? I don't know. Any other questions or fun stuff? We've been on the live for, I don't know how long. How long have we been on the live? I'm not sure. The chickens are right behind me. They ate all of the table scraps that I gave them, so now they're just kind of digging around the dirt, looking for bugs and whatnot. And let's see, how many cats do we have in there? Rooster says hi. I see 1 cat, 2 cats, 3 cats. 3 cats, I don't know. And the cats know how to get under the netting to get out, and also in the hen house they can jump on, the cats jump on top of the nest boxes, and then they jump on top of a cupboard, and then they can jump up through the rafters of the barn, of the garage, and get out of the hen house in there. So that's good. So I never have to worry about the cats getting stuck in the chicken area. But the cats love to go in there and snack on whatever table scraps I happen to be giving the chickens. That rooster is vocal today. He's a pretty boy. He's a barred rock rooster. That one is the one that was just crowing. Ooh, there's a squirrel up there. We have a dead tree right next to the garage and right next to the hen house. That dead tree is going to have to come down. We just had a company come and take down 6 or 7 huge trees. No chickens, but I raised cockatiels inside. Very rewarding experience. Cockatiels! Birds are fun. I want to get a bird, and we have a greenhouse, like an arboretum inside, and it's like 2 stories tall. It's got a balcony from our bedroom that comes out into it. And I want to get like some birds just to be in there, but it's got these huge windows, and I worry that they just keep ramming into the windows, and they would poop everywhere. So my thought of the dream of having like birds free flying in my arboretum is probably not a good plan, because yeah, they would just they just fly into everything. And they would just poop on everything. So, but I'd love to have like cockatiels and things like that just flying around like I don't know, Rio, the movie Rio or something. But yeah, I love our chickens are fun, and they give us tons of eggs. Right now, they're giving us just as many or just enough eggs for our family to eat, so we're not selling any eggs right now. But in the spring, we go up to several dozen eggs every day, and so we sell a lot of eggs in the spring, through the summer, and through the fall. But in winter, we give our chickens a break. We don't supplement the lighting. We don't supplement heat. We just let them kind of have their break. And that helps us have our chickens lay longer in their life, because a chicken's born, a little chick is hatched out, a little hen is hatched out with all the eggs it will ever lay in its body. And so just over its lifetime, each egg develops and it lays an egg. And so when its eggs are used up inside its little body, there are no more. And so if we can prolong just a bit the laying, then our chickens will lay longer, because we don't butcher much anymore. And so we prefer them to lay longer in their lifetime, just have a longer laying lifetime. We're not looking at, the 2 year where they keep them, a lot of people keep them for 18 months or 2 years and then they get rid of them, because they get all the eggs out of them that they want at that point, and they don't want the every other day egg or the every couple days egg. We don't mind those. We've got some chickens here that are, let's see, we got rid of all of our chickens for like a year, and then we got all new ones, and that was 6 years ago. So we've got some chickens here that are 6 years old, and I look for them to live quite long, and they're still laying like 1 egg every once in a while. The 6-year-olds are still laying 1 egg every once in a while. So I'm not sure when they'll stop, but they've been doing that for several years, where they just lay one egg a week. Have you ever had one get egg bound? Never in my life. I know what to do if it happens, but I've never had, and we've had chickens for 10 years. We had, like I said, there was 1 year that we didn't have chickens. We took a break for 1 year on chickens, but we've never had a chicken get egg bound. And egg bound is where the egg's there and it can't come out, so it binds up the chicken. And if you leave it and the chicken never expels the egg never comes out, it'll kill the chicken. But yeah, we've never had one get egg bound. Plenty of water is one key, and egg-bound chickens is usually individual chickens that it happens often to them. Like if it happens once, it probably will happen again. So we've just been very lucky to have no chickens that have had that problem. But yeah, never have had one egg-bound. A diversified diet is really, really helpful. They tend to get more egg-bound if they're fed just purely chicken feed. And that's another thing I don't understand is homesteaders or farmers or whatever that have chickens and keep them in coops, or even, they don't even have to be small coops, but keep them in coops. And, Francis, hold on, Francis is getting into the netting over there. I just want to make sure he doesn't get stuck. Francis, what are you doing? Francis, no. How did you get in there? How did you get in there? I know how. Oh. So now, Francis, I'm going to have to go here in a minute because Francis is in with the chickens. I saw him over on the far side, and pigs root under. So for pigs, it's easy to get under this netting. And he's got like a half a loaf of baguette. And so he's like so happy right now. So I'm going to have to get his collar and leash and take him back up to the pig pen, because otherwise he'll stay in this chicken area forever. And I don't want him getting wrapped up in the netting, because I do want to go back inside at some point. But yeah, he rooted under that netting, no problem. But I was like, oh, he's caught in the netting over there. No, he was inside the chicken area, and he's in there right now. Francis, you are the goofiest goofiest pig ever. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, farmers or homesteaders or people that have chickens, and they feed their chickens nothing but chicken feed. Those eggs are going to be the exact same thing as what you're going to buy in the store. So if you want like the good, rich, healthy eggs of a farm life, let your chickens free range, or if you can't let them free range, put supplemental stuff in there. Grass clippings, yard waste, as far as like leaves and things like that. Put some soil in there. Take a couple shovelfuls of soil and put in there every once in a while. They can get those worms and bugs out of there. You know, give them that stuff to eat. I'm gonna have to wait till he's done with that baguette because he's not gonna come out of there if he's eating a baguette. Oh my gosh, my goofy pigs. My goofy pigs, those pigs. I'm telling you. If you want something that keeps you absolutely on the top of your toes, get pot-bellied pigs. They will, if you can keep an enclosure that keeps them in, you know, fail-proof, you're a genius. If you can, I don't know, they test every limit. They test everything. So I'm going to have to go here. If nobody has any more questions, I'm going to probably go get Francis out of the chicken area and get him back up into the pig pen. I need to flip those logs and stuff in the chicken area anyways and give them access to the worms and stuff. But Francis, here, pig, 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 pig. He is still looking for all sorts of yummy stuff in there. And he'll find it. He's got a nose on him. So I will see you guys later. I love ya, and thank you all for watching. That was really, really sweet to have you here. Yeah, I'm going to have to go so I can get him into the pig pen. So remember to do what you can with what you have wherever you are. And you guys have a great day. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.